Hey guys, it's Coach Rick Storley, and today I'm going to share some final tips with you on how to get in front of more qualified leads. Again, my name is Rick Storley, and I help home builders and remodelers reach their sales goals. I've developed a 5-step sales system that generates a steady stream of new leads. It creates value through education. We employ cutting-edge technology to identify the leads most likely to buy from you, and it's got my 20 plus years of sales and management experience built right in. Today will be the final video on lead generation. There are 8 different strategies to generate leads. So in the previous videos, I reviewed the 6 offline, which you see on the screen today. And now we are wrapping up with the final 2 online strategies. Today, we're going to be specifically focusing on how to bring visitors to your website through what's called search engine marketing. So let's take a closer look at how to do this. This is all about creating awareness to your virtual market. In other words, answering the question, how do people find out about your offering? And so once they get there and they create awareness, then we're going to talk a little bit more about consideration. But first, let's look more at how to get people there. So here is a look at your virtual marketplace. And SEM stands for search engine marketing. There's paid and what we call organic search engine marketing. So we're going to look at both today, and what we're going to start with is looking at OnSite Optimization, which is part of organic search engine marketing, and then we'll move to OffSite Optimization, where you're going to have both paid and organic. All right, beginning with OnSite Optimization. So OnSite Optimization simply means you're working on your own website. You work on your own website to make it more visible to the search engines. So some of the things that you need to take into consideration in order to do this are, number one, keyword phrases. What are the keyword phrases that your leads and prospects are going to search for? And this is normally location specific. Because all your businesses are local, dealing with you have a defined service area if you're a remodeler or a scattered lot home builder, or if you build within your own neighborhoods, there are certain communities you're going to build in. So most of the time a keyword phrase will be tied to a location, and that location could be the city people might choose. It could be perhaps the county, the township. It might be the name of the neighborhood, depending on how well known it is. But it's what do the people in your local community use to search when they're trying to find locations. So that's the first thing with keyword phrases. Normally you're going to have 3 to 6 of those that you're going to use throughout your website. Okay, next is tags. These are called meta tags. And tags are things that are used in search. So you can tag certain pages with certain keywords. So these tags will show up and are read by the spiders, for lack of a better word, on search engines. So Google, Bing, Yahoo, Ask.com, that sort of thing. Now we move on to copy, or the website copy. The website copy is important that it does contain some of your keywords, some of your keyword phrases, but you can't do what's called stuffing. You can't say them over and over again. So the tip I can give you is this, is write your website copy for readability. There are other places on your website, specifically at the bottom of the screens, that you can actually write it more for the search engines. And then last but not least, of course, is the overall visibility. So you take all these things into consideration. You want to make your website as visible as possible to the search engines. And what that simply means is that when somebody searches for these keyword phrases, is that you're going to show up on page 1. And of course, the search engine that you want to be shooting for always is Google, getting on page 1 with Google. Okay, so now let's take a look at off-site optimization. So now we are reaching out into other parts of the internet, and we're going to look at organic ways to bring more people back to your website. By far the best one is your blog. All of your websites should have a weblog or a blog incorporated into it, and the platform that I recommend again is WordPress. We talked about that on a previous video. WordPress is an open source software. It's free. It can be downloaded, hosted by you, and it works very much like an iPhone or an Android phone in that there are thousands of developers that are building what's called a plugin, very similar to an app for your iPhone or Android phone. And these plugins can be put on your website to make it do different things. WordPress started out as a blogging software and has evolved now to host not only your blog but also your website. So there's
web pages within a WordPress website, and there's also web posts that relates mostly to the blog. It's really a great way to be able to promote your website and also be able to easily and quickly change things up. So one of the things on your blog is it needs to incorporate all your keyword phrases. It should have photos on it, and it should be updated twice per week, at a minimum twice per week. So think of your blog as more or less adding pages to your website. So over time, 2 pages per week get added to your website, and this helps just grow your virtual market. All right, Google Plus Local is the other thing that you should be looking at. You should have a Google Plus page, and then you should claim your local listing. When you go on Google and would search, let's say, for home builders in a specific locale, you most likely are going to see a map pull up, and it's going to have listings of builders that have addresses or physical brick and mortar addresses in that locale. Now, if your particular office is located in a certain area, you need to claim your Google Plus page, and this will make you show up on the search for a local builder. You can also use Google Plus reviews, and so you can get your clients to give you reviews, so when people first find you, you can see that, hey, this person has 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 reviews, which is a very powerful way to build confidence and get people to step forward and want to engage you. And then finally, as we look at from an organic standpoint, another good way, oftentimes overlooked, is social media. So the social media that I recommend is, number one, Facebook. On Facebook, you really need an app to get results if you're going to actually capture people off of Facebook. Otherwise, it's sort of a black hole. So in a future video, we're going to look at how to tie Facebook app into web marketing automation and streamline that process. Now, Houzz is another great one if you're not already on it. Houzz is where you can post your photos, and people can actually search locally for photos as it relates to home building and remodeling, and then you can create a profile and a page on there, and you can put backlinks back to your website. So it's really definitely a defined tool for people interested in housing, home building, and remodeling. Pinterest, great, because number one, it's almost all women, and number two, you can create Pinterest boards. So a tip here is that as you're going through and creating homes for your clients, is to create a Pinterest board and show maybe a combination of the floor plan they're doing, some of the products and features, color selections that they're putting on, and so this way you can get your clients and their friends and family to subscribe to your Pinterest board and keep doing updates there. And if you work with an interior designer, oftentimes they can update that board for you. It's in interior design world, Pinterest is huge. The thing I like best about YouTube is because YouTube is the only medium online that allows you to communicate 3 ways. There is the spoken word, there is tone of voice, and then there is body language. So one thing on YouTube that I suggest you do is shoot a video of everything that you build, all of your projects, and post on your blog and your site. You can also encourage people to subscribe to your YouTube channel, and you could put backlinks on the description of your video on YouTube to go back to your website. So someone could actually be on YouTube searching for home builders or remodelers in your area, and they could find your video with the keyword phrases and things in your description. Now, YouTube also, I would suggest creating categories. And to do this, you maybe want to create categories that follow your photo albums on your website. So you could have a category for kitchens, bathrooms. You could have a category by plan name, a category by, say, address of the homes that you're building, whatever you want to do, but create categories there so it's real easy to search and find your stuff. And then finally, LinkedIn. LinkedIn, the reason I put this last is because the key thing that we need to understand with social media is that the best way to utilize social media is to link up with people you already know. It's really sort of a black hole if you're trying to get new business off of social media. Very difficult to do. Much more effective if you become, get all your current clients to like you on Facebook or to subscribe to your YouTube channel or Pinterest boards. And the same thing with LinkedIn. Once you get a prospect or a client that comes in, hey, search for them on LinkedIn and look to hook up with them on LinkedIn. So again, then you tie into their network, and it's a great way for you to access their sphere of influence. All right, now let's move on to what we call paid off-site optimization. So one of the things I see I have the toilet with throwing the money down the toilet here is because most of the time when I talk to my clients and they're using any sort of paid optimization, they're doing it wrong. They're throwing money down the toilet. So there's multiple ways to do this. I'm going to give you some tips on each one. First of all is like a Google AdWords or a pay per click. One of the things that this is best to do is use it for testing, but you only want to use an extended pay per click campaign if you're tracking conversions and can justify the cost. If you can't do that, you don't want to do it. But it's a great way to test what keyword phrases your prospects are going to use, because what's going to happen is if you go into the Google's keyword tool and you try to identify the keywords for your locale, there's not enough data in there, and so it's not going to tell you anything. So the only way to truly figure it out is to run a few Google AdWords ads and see which ads get clicked on the most, and then that's what you'll know you use for your keywords in your organic and on-site optimization. There's a couple different ways that you can advertise on Facebook. One is just a general ad that would involve keywords. The other ad would be like a promoted post, so people that have already liked your page. So a lot of people are confused about, they want to build up a large following on their business page on Facebook and think they should use ads for it. Yes, you do want to build up a large following, but again, what I would do is I would go through your sphere of influence to do that and do it organically. However, I would use Facebook ads to get people back to your website. So here's an example. I have a remodeling client, and what they do each month is they do a drawing for a giveaway. So one time we did a Williams-Sonoma gift card. One time we've done a Restoration Hardware gift card. And they have to leave Facebook and they go back to my builder's website where they register for the drawing. And then once they register for the drawing, they have the opportunity to opt in and say ask for a consultation, see if they have a project they're considering. And what we found is roughly 10% of the people that would register for the drawing, about 10% actually did go through the second part and do an opt-in. We have had some site visits, we've made some sales from it. So it is a very viable way to get more people to your site and get more leads and sales. Now, promoted posts is the other way to go. So what you can do is when you do a post on your business page, and you can actually pay to promote it. So what that'll do is more or less make it sticky, where it stays on the top of the timeline of your people that have liked your page for a set period of time, and so it's front and center. You're going to get more business from it. Obviously, you can do events and things like that too, which you can do for promoted posts, which is probably the best way to do it. Is when you have, say, an upcoming brick and mortar event, or I should say on-site event, and you want to make it sure that it gets promoted for a period of time in order to get as many people as possible signing up. But the key thing is with Facebook advertising is move them off of Facebook and back to your website. Now, banner ads and referral sites. Again, banner ads and referral sites, if you're just driving people to your home page, probably not such a good idea. What you want to drive them to is what's called a squeeze page or a landing page. So offer them something. So offer them to view your design library, offer them to get your free lot report or your free home building or remodeling guide, and then drive them to a landing page where they have to opt in order to download that particular material. Then you can track the effectiveness from a code for Google Analytics that you can put on your landing page. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit complicated here, so I want to go and look at the content. When someone's going to give you consideration for your offering, content is always king. So there's a few metrics here that I want to go over of things you should be monitoring, probably no more than monthly, otherwise it just gets overwhelming. First and foremost is Google Analytics. And Google Analytics pretty much will track three main things that I like to look at for you. Number one is the audience overview. So what I like to look for here on audience overview is I want to look at the unique visitors I have each month, and I want to compare that to previous months and also year over year. So unique visitors. Number two, I want to look at the average visit. So you should be seeing that people are on your website for 3 or more minutes. If it's less than that, the content is no good. And then finally, the bounce rate. Okay, the bounce rate is when someone lands on your website and they then click off right away. And so your bounce rate should be less than 50%. And for most home builders and remodelers, that's very easy to achieve. All right, so next on analytics is content. Now, on content, I like to look at page views. What are the pages on your website that are most viewed? That's the type of information that you need to be offering as an opportunity to engage people. Is if they want to look at your photo gallery, they want to look at your design library, they want to see your locations, perhaps your available homes or project cost samples from a remodeling standpoint. You probably want to continue to offer those up both online and offline to give people a reason to come to your website. And that can be through social media too. And then finally, traffic sources. On Google Analytics, you can look and let the traffic sources, and it'll tell you which keyword phrases people are using most often to find you. And we'll also show you referral traffic source. So if you are doing banner ads or Craigslist ads or any sort of off-site optimization where you're using another website to bring people to your website, you can track that and see what the total numbers coming over. So let's just do a quick wrap up here now. From a search engine marketing standpoint, number one, always start with your own website. So sometimes you get people that call you up and say, hey, do you want to run a pay-per-click ad, or I could do search engine optimization for you. Always start with your own website and make sure you got your title tags, your meta tags, your keyword phrases all set up. Get all that set up and make sure your site is as visible as possible to Google and the other search engines before you ever spend one nickel going off-site. Now, use pay-per-click to determine which keywords. So run a pay-per-click campaign on Google. Try some different keyword phrases that your particular leads and prospects might search for, and see which ones get the most results. Those are the keywords that you should be using for your organic optimization. And then number three, long term, you want to focus on organic. Paid search is not a long-term. It's not a long-term solution. It's simply a short-term way to get people to your site or do some testing. Focus on organic optimization long-term, and probably the best way to do that is through your blog. Just continue to expand your website with good, fresh, relevant content, at least two per week. And then finally, social media. Remember, social media is best utilized through your existing clients or sphere of influence. So use it through realtors you know. Go to your past customers, your current customers, your sphere of influence, your trade partners, anybody you know, and help promote your social media that way. You're going to have a lot more, much better effectiveness using social media through people you already know, and therefore you're going to be able to tap into their sphere of influence and really develop a nice referral network. Hey, that's it for search engine marketing, and this also concludes the final video for lead generation. Future videos now we're going to be focusing on step 2, which is going to be the value creation process. Happy selling.